What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dead Red Podcast. Sox will be joining me shortly, but obviously, as usual, we have a lot to talk about this week. Shouts to anybody in the chat. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream obviously drops. Also, same with Sox's channels, same with Big Beat Reactions. Go subscribe to both of those channels as well. As I said, a lot of topics. I mean, for some reason, shouts to Tony in the chat. What's going on, man? Hope all is well. Saw you in the NYY News TV stream. With that being said, for some reason, the Yankees are not calling this game off. And, you know, I mentioned it on the NYY News TV stream that at the time that where they, it was raining in the Bronx, it was sunny by me. You take a look right now. I mean, this window I have up here, it's cloudy as all hell. Apparently the Bronx is starting to, apparently starting to get better in terms of weather. I mean, we'll see what happens. But with that being said, Sox, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on? How are you, sir?
I'm good. I am good. I mean, obviously, for some reason, the Yankees haven't called the game yet. It's pretty stupid.
We raining over there?
What?
Is it raining over there?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, the storm clouds made it look like it was a night game.
Oh, okay.
And it was pretty bad. The funny thing is, it's not like it's the fourth inning or it's the sixth inning. It's the ninth inning. There's 3 outs left. So okay. I just, and it's a 6-1 ball game. It's not like it's 5-6. So I don't understand why they don't call the game. I don't think tonight's game is happening either. So, and yesterday was postponed. So, obviously a lot of unlucky stuff. But the Yankees, I guess you could say, won this series against the Angels, and that's honestly what I wanted to happen. No losses, nothing like that. Obviously, some concerns there. Sox, we have a lot to talk about, obviously, here. The Red Sox lost to the Reds for the first time at Fenway since 75, but first time in regular season games since like 1915. What's in a brief summary before we get into the specifics of it, what's been going on with the Sox?
Not much. We had that makeup series against the Baltimore Orioles. So the only 2 teams we've seen since we've talked last is Baltimore and Cincinnati. We had a bunch of games, 5-game makeup series against Baltimore. Red Sox gave up a bunch of runs in that series, and then obviously the big win for Cincinnati that everybody's talking about since 1915. We handed them that win with the 2 errors from Bogaerts and Devers. Those are just games we have to win, but they're playing well. I'm proud of the pitching staff so far this past week. So it could be worse. We're in a good spot.
Definitely. So the Yankees have just put out a tweet that says, please be advised, due to the rain delay, gates will open at 6 p.m. for tonight's second game of the doubleheader, which really doesn't make sense because, I mean, yes, it's supposed to start at 7. But there's still a game that has yet to be postponed. So I don't understand that. Bill, I know he was in my chat for a premiere yesterday. What's going on, man? He says, "Hey, Sox, what's up, buddy?" I think he was the same guy that was saying the Red Sox are not going to make the playoffs, and I said, look, if they continue to be on this route, it kind of looks that way, unfortunately. That being said, I'm going to go into some let me talk about this for a second. I know Tony's here. He'll get the context of it. So let me just fix my camera a little bit. For some reason, this came up. I don't know how, but I was looking up stuff on Instagram during one of my breaks on the live stream with NYY News TV. And with that being said, something came up in my Instagram feed that was very disgusting. The University of Miami apparently has a company where they have their own milkshakes. I like milkshakes, particularly vanilla. I don't know the name. It's like Mark something shakes. This was one of the flavors. Buffalo chicken inside. Well, it's really buffalo sauce, chicken, and vanilla. With the other toppings you see. I mean, that's absolutely disgusting.
That makes me sick. And that's cool that you're a vanilla milkshake guy, because that's my favorite shake. Like, I don't really like a chocolate shake. I don't like a strawberry shake. That's probably the most sickening thing I've ever seen.
And I want to acknowledge a comment. Actually, I'll get to Tony's in a sec. I would like to know, and how the fuck the Red Sox blow the lead to the Reds last night. Lost the first game. Sox.
Last night's game, the 2-1 game, or last night's game we won 7-1.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think y'all won 7-1.
Yeah, so I mean the 2-1 game, it was a big error from Devers early on, and then Bogaerts threw it away. We have Franchi at first, so any other first baseman probably stops that ball. The Reds don't score 2 runs, we probably get that win. But what's up, Bill? Thanks for being here, man.
Bill says I was very proud of Whitlock last night. Maybe he needs to be a starter again.
I mean, so far he's successful. He's successful everywhere we put him. So I like him in the bullpen because we're going to struggle there down the road a little bit. But right now, why not throw him out there as a starter if we need a few wins here and there? He got the win yesterday, moves to 2-1. His ERA is just over 3.
Yeah. With that being said, in terms of the milkshake topic,
That's bad. That's is that a minor league ballpark?
No, that's actually University of Miami.
Oh, University of Miami. You said that. Okay.
So so it just happened to be we were crossing on that topic, and I'll go over some more milkshakes that are just not very appetizing. However, with that being said, one of the guys, because the record for game seasons likes is 305, for about an 8.5K subscriber account. And they said, Pete's like, okay, we got to break the record this time. And we didn't eventually do it. But one of the guys said in the chat, if y'all break the 305 likes record, Alex has to live stream him actually making and drinking the milkshake.
Whoa. Okay, wait. So what's the record? 300 and what likes for what?
305 likes for it was this past live stream, 1:05 p.m. on NYY News TV. We didn't achieve the record, but if we did, I would have to go out and drink a milkshake that of those contents, and it was pretty nasty. But I'm sort of relieved that I don't have to do that.
I would have liked to see that. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, I said, look, and then somebody commented in the chat with a super chat and said, you know, this is for Alex when he gets his ulcer. I said $9.99 is not covering an ulcer. It's probably going to be up there. Yeah. Tony says, I'm putting it out there now. If you get 100 likes in the basketball stream, I will mail and drink a tuna strawberry shake on your stream. I don't think we'll get to 100, but you know what?
Deal.
I guess it's worth a shot, right? I guess we're all sorts of pranks and stuff like that. Then I think Tony had one up here. Sox, please give your thoughts on the Red Sox fans chanting Yankees suck during the loss to the Red Sox and being 11 games out. What's up with that?
I mean, I saw your tweet. I didn't want to say anything, but to say that the fan base is unintelligent, Tony, come on. And also, it's a thing. You know, we've seen the Mets and Red Sox fans team up to do it. It's a known thing. Even when the Yankees don't suck, Yankees suck. I mean, it's simple.
Yeah, I take it. I mean, it's not something I take personally. I'm just like, you know, it's what fans do.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's drunk baseball fans of Boston. What do you expect?
They gotta, you know, as I guess as long as the Red Sox are losing and you know they do that shit or whatever. Listen, look, the Yankees are how many games up in first
11
place?
11 and a half. Wouldn't it be worse if the Red Sox were winning and we were doing that shit? I mean, don't you think?
I mean, you know, that's definitely a different situation. I'm trying to find out if they canceled this game yet. Appears not. So they didn't shut off this game yet, which is once again really, really weird considering the fact that it is pouring outside.
So they're just in a delay.
They're in a delay, and they have a game yet to play at 7:00. I mean, it's just weird. I don't have my Instagram sign on my laptop, but they have some really weird shake flavors. Actually, they have a park. I guess they have a complex or something like that for my University of Miami. They actually have a park that's called Alex Rodriguez Park at Mark-like Field. So I guess they named it after him. Here's one: vanilla ice cream, vanilla syrup, and Gatorade flavored orange juice.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of that one.
How the fuck these fucking things keep coming in the chat. I don't understand that. Let's see. There's a couple other ones I want to get to. I mean, apple pie doesn't sound bad. I mean, it's not as bad as buffalo.
I would eat that. I would try that.
I'm not usually a pie person. There's a Peeps flavor.
Not bad. That's just marshmallow.
Yeah. There was one really nasty. There was one with seafood. I swore.
No.
There's. Oh, here we go. Crab cake hot fudge milkshake.
Nope. You're going to put chocolate on crab? What is this? And why do we keep getting these bots? I got you.
I have no idea. I don't know. I think I made Tony the moderator. So if you want to, you have now privileges, Tony. Next time something comes in, to go out and block these guys and remove them.
I work at a seafood restaurant. You don't put chocolate on seafood.
No, I mean, I'm not a big fan of seafood, but I wouldn't even do that if I did. Let's see. There's like two more I want to find. We could get into the thick of things. There's a jelly donut milkshake. It makes more sense than a couple of the others.
Let us know what you think in the chat too. What's your favorite?
Yes, I know this is a different subject, but it's a fun one nonetheless. There's one for cannolis, which doesn't sound all the worst. Bananas, yeah, that's basic right there.
Nobody's buying that crab cake fudge. They don't sell.
There's one with chocolate and bacon.
I wouldn't buy it. I would try it, but I wouldn't buy it.
Okay, and then there's vanilla milkshake with maple hot fudge topped with fried chicken stuffed in a waffle cone.
I'm not a big fan of chicken and sweets. A lot of people like the chicken and waffles with syrup. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not me.
Yeah. That's not my
and then there's a Lucky Charms one, which I actually might want to try. Yeah, so that's milkshake topic of the day.
Lucky Charms, great cereal.
You know what's weird about Lucky Charms is that my friend and I are the polar opposites when it came to that. When I was younger, I used to just eat the cereal. Excuse me, no. I just used to eat the marshmallows. My friend used to always eat the grain parts, the Cheerio looking parts of cereal. I'm like, dude, what? That's not fun.
See, I always mix them. I think the combination of the two is a beautiful masterpiece.
With that being said, I do have a couple of comments to tend to. Let's see. Sox, how would you... Yeah, I mean, I heard Matt Barnes was on the IL shoulder injury. Your thoughts on who should be the closer? Tanner Houck? Maybe it's someone else. Like, who are they going to put in there?
It's going to have to be Houck right now. Obviously, they had him in the starting rotation, but with Barnes going down, it's going to be tough, and it's probably going to be a rotating bullpen for 15 days. I think Barnes is out. Long run, like I've said, I want to have Barnesy back there in the back of the bullpen. So hopefully he gets healthy and we put him there. But Houck will be there. I'm assuming here and there, at least in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. You said it's like 15 days, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, no, it's a shoulder discomfort or something like that. So he'll be back, and we'll get back to it with him.
I know a lot of people call Luis Severino general soreness.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Funny. Shout out to Just Mess. What's going on, man? Bill also says, I heard Alex Cora was trying to watch Chris Sale last game pitching a rehab, and Cora said he's looking great and he has high hopes. He'll be back in the middle of end of June along with James Paxton. He also says, I need your opinion on how, obviously you probably just said Houck. How are those two progressing right now?
Yeah, I heard that on the stream yesterday. They've been really quiet about Chris Sale. Chaim Bloom said that he's better than we thought with progression. He's pitching in bullpen already, and if you guys remember, he broke his rib throwing a bullpen session, which tells me that he was just throwing too hard. Like he hasn't done that his whole career, and then he breaks his rib in a BP session. So he's working back slowly. He's looking good, and hopefully in the middle of June, like Bill said, James Paxton and him will be back. James Paxton coming off surgery as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, Yankees have still not called the game. I keep checking in, but of course, why not?
I think they're really trying to get that second game in because all those double headers that they have to play to make up the lockout, they have to squeeze that game in.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but also just like for the sake of the second game, why don't you just say, look, it's done?
Yeah. I agree, because then you got to go out there and play the 3 outs or 6 outs, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's only 3, so I don't understand just play 3 outs. I mean, it was basically, I would like to think that the game is basically over. But if they do end up playing it, there's actually bad luck on the Yankees side because one time that happened and Aroldis Chapman gave a grand slam to Jared Walsh in the 9th inning that tied the game. Probably one of my worst recent memories as a Yankee fan. I mean, there was a lot of bad moments last year. Tony says he keeps seeing that Jackie Bradley Jr. is doing well. Your thoughts on one of your favorite guys?
I mean, he's keeping up. He's keeping his name in there as, hey, I'm the guy, because, we're doing the stopgap thing and right at first. Jackie's one of the hottest hitters on this team, if you look at the numbers, and we'll pull them up if we talk about it a little bit later on. But I pinned it on my Twitter as soon as Jackie came here. I said, Jackie Bradley was a good trade, and you all better eat your crow when he proves me right.
Yeah, I'm sure Beantown would always disagree with you. Bill says friggin' Yankees always have to show off how dominant they are of the rest of the AL East. I mean, we did lose a series to Baltimore, and we're doing much better. I'm not going to complain about that. We did lose a series to Baltimore, and we did tie up a series with the Rays, which I thought we should have won. But, I think time will only tell. We have, many more series to go. And plus the playoffs. I think we're going to be facing, either the Jays, the Rays. I think will give us trouble in the playoffs. Depends on how they come out of it. And then I think the Astros, if we're talking out of division. With that being said, has Trevor's Story cooled down? Because I've sort of noticed like he was on that tear, and then his average is at like a 220.
Yeah, so he cooled down a little bit. He was hitting the ball out of the ballpark for a while there, but it ended up being JD that caught fire. If I might be mistaken, but I think JD's hitting over 345. He might be hitting 350 on the season. So they've been kind of swapping places. Yeah, but he's still hitting the ball well. I'll take, what did you say? What did you say he's at, 220 right now?
I want to say it was like I'm going to take a look at the average right now, but I think it's Trevor Story's hitting 222.
So given his bad start, I'll take that from him right now, because if you remember, he was cold, ice cold to start, and then he got sick and had to miss a couple games. So I'm happy with what I see from him.
Bill says, do you think Hein Bloom will give Bogaerts a contract extension even if Devers will get his?
I see Bogaerts getting his before Devers, because I feel like Devers has proven here and there that he's still shaky on defense. Bogaerts, I don't know why people talk about his range to his left, his range to his right is not good. That's why he doesn't get any recognition. I say pay that man. Every time I watch him, the ball doesn't get past him. He makes great plays every night. So pay the damn man. I've been saying it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of course I don't watch too much Red Sox baseball, but I don't see why you wouldn't have. I mean, I'd probably take Bogaerts. Let's see, how is Mr. Bogaerts hitting? I got to take a look at MLB.
I mean, he's hitting the ball well.
323. He had 2 walks in his last game, and he went 2 for 2 with actually 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored. So,
I mean, it might be biased, but he's the best 2-strike hitter in all of baseball. You watch him with 2 strikes, 0-2, it doesn't matter. He's gonna find a way to get on base.
Tony says he thinks it's one or the other and not both.
I could agree with that, Tony.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely the way the Red Sox can go. At least, Sox has given me that sort of persuasion. Tony, by the way, how did your recording session go? I know you were recording with Jeff Conine, I think it was yesterday or whenever it was.
Congrats,
how
Tony.
was it? Yeah, congrats, man. Just give me 1 second. Let's see. I had a different concern in terms of the Red Sox. Also, this as well. I know you were a big fan of this guy, and I was championing him. Shouts to Jeffrey as well. You guys play the Dodgers tonight, as in the Mets, so that's going to be a really interesting matchup. The game obviously between the Celtics and the Warriors is still going to go. I mean, it's obviously in a dome. We'll be streaming that game, but I will keep my eye on the Dodgers and the Mets because that's going to be that might be a playoff matchup. If you ask me right now who wins, I honestly think because of playoff history, I think the Mets would win. So what do you think, Sox?
I think that's fine. That's fair to say the Mets would win because of their playoff history.
Sox, I think the Celtics can win in 7 games as long as they keep playing well on defense. They need to double team Steph Curry and Klay Thompson tonight.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I've been having nightmares about Curry for days now, seriously. And I'm a big fan of him. Like, I like him a lot, but he's going to break my heart multiple times in the next couple weeks, and just got to be ready for it. I think Smart is going to step up in this series. He will be the difference.
This is sad. I don't understand how the Pirates swept the Dodgers.
I work with a bunch of Dodgers fans too, and they're like, and they struggled against the Phillies this year too. I'm not sure how much you keep up on the Dodgers, but they lost.
That's exactly what. Like, Jeff, if you want, you could tell me like some of the other teams you guys have struggled against. But like, if you're struggling against the Phillies, who are third place in their division, if you're struggling against the Pirates, who are terrible.
Exactly.
That's not necessarily a good sign in the playoffs. When you have to face the tough teams. I got to take a look at them, more close through the microscope. Obviously, right now their pitching has been terrific, and they are starting to get the bats going consistently. Yeah, I mean, Starling Marte's been hitting good. The whole top of the order, and you know what? I think the three of us have all something in common. Is that our 3 teams are probably going to be arching for bullpen arms at the deadline.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah, obviously you guys, Matt Barnes, obviously his injury, but you don't even know if you said even before, like he was not necessarily the closer.
And Strom's on the injured list too, by the way, Matt Strom. So I was thinking about him too, but he's on the IL too.
Yeah, Dodgers are 1-5 against Pittsburgh this season. So did they lose a series in Pittsburgh too?
Wow, and Philly, and this one against Pittsburgh.
You know what? We're gonna run through the Dodgers schedule, see who they lost to.
Wow. Okay.
Because I don't get that. I don't get that. They lost the first series against Colorado. I think that's well remarked. Then they went on a 7-game winning streak. They won the series against Atlanta. They won the series against San Diego. They lost the series in Arizona.
Oh.
Yep.
I remember Bumgarner shutting them down. I remember that.
What was I going to say? They went to against Detroit, and Detroit actually lost 2 of 3 to them, so they got that. They won the series against San Fran, won the series against Chicago. They did lose 2 out of 3 in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And they lost 3 out of 4 in Philly.
Actually, did they give up a bunch of runs in those Pittsburgh games?
I'm sorry, what?
Did they give up a bunch of runs in those Pittsburgh games?
They gave up 11 runs one game.
Yeah.
Actually, no, excuse me. That I was reading backwards. No, they didn't. 5 runs. I mean, that's not too bad, but at the same time, it's Pittsburgh. Yeah, 5 runs in both the games they lost.
Okay. Because somebody said their pitching is really struggling.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested in just to see what's what with that. They lost 3 out of 4 to the Phillies. They gave up a lot of runs in that series, 8, 12, 9. Then they swept Arizona. Then they went to Philadelphia and actually won 2 out of 3. Won 2 out of 3 in Washington. Won all games in Arizona, and then obviously this past series they got swept. Craig Kimbrell actually got one of the losses. Julio Urias is actually 3-5 this year.
Oh,
his ERA looks good.
He had a good year last year, I think, too. And Kimbrell will choke a couple of games for you. He's known to do that.
Yeah, I mean, just watching him over the last couple of years, and obviously, watching him when he was a part of the Red Sox. I have like one fond memory, just most importantly, is I think it was 2018, and Judge hit a home run, and there was like a big 8th inning rally, I believe it was, at Yankee Stadium. I don't know too much of the specifics, but you do remember what I'm talking about.
It's coming back to me now. I don't think I wanted to hear that, but yeah, it's coming back
now. Marcus Smart and Andrew Wiggins are the X factors in the NBA Finals for both teams.
What are your thoughts on that?
See, I'm gonna try to answer this as best as possible because my brother probably knows more than I do. Because I'm just starting to get into basketball, but he's like more technically, I would say, into it. But yeah, I could see that, Jeff. Bill says the Phillies suck, especially with Joe Girardi as the coach. I don't understand what's so wrong with that team. I think it's the pitching.
Yeah, it must be.
I can't get a grip as to why that team is so bad.
I like Real Muto. I've always liked him.
Yeah. So let's see. The Phillies are third in their division. Kyle Schwarber is hitting a whopping 192. So that's a problem.
Hoskins too.
Hoskins 222. Realmuto 247. I want to see how Bryce Harper's hitting. Or is he? Or who knows? He may be injured. I don't know.
I mean, that offense on paper sounds good. It really does.
It really does. Harper's hitting 303, so that's not bad. The game before yesterday, they actually blew it in the – well, they first blew it in the 10th, which obviously, once again, you could say, oh, well, the extra inning or whatever. But the next bottom of the 10th, they tie it. Then in the 11th inning, they gave up 3 runs.
Wow.
Bellotti, his name, Andrew Bellotti. Yeah, right. He's the one who gave up the runs. So safe to say that I think Philly's going to be – I think they're going to be – I don't know. It's – just on the outside perspective of it, Sox, I think it depends, because you look at them. Do you think out of the picture they would be a team that sells?
You were talking Philly, right?
Correct.
It depends on the success of the Mets and the Braves going forward. I feel like you might have been poking at that a little bit, but if the Mets take off or the Braves take off, Miami's only a game behind or half a game behind Philly, so they could easily be a 4th place ball club right now. So it might be their pitching, like you said, because that offense looks really good on paper. So I could see them being sellers.
Yeah, and it comes to this point as well. What could they be sellers? Could they not be sellers? Obviously, you bring up another good perspective in terms of the way the division looks. I think they could be sellers if Joe Girardi is not the answer for them.
Yeah, if someone upstairs decides, we need to move away from Girardi, I could see them just being like, all right, well, let's rebuild this thing.
Yeah. Jeff says, yeah, Mets are looking for bullpen arms as well as another power hitter to protect Alonso since McNeil, Marte, and Nimmo aren't really big power hitters unless Lindor starts hitting for more power. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, adding a bat. It depends where you need it, though, because I know you guys just sent down Dom Smith, which is very disappointing. He was hitting 186 this year. But if you need outfield, I don't know any infielders that would be on the market, but outfield, there's Benintendi. If they want to make that trade, which I would be fucking pissed because I want Benintendi so bad. If they make a trade for like Ian Happ, but he's not really a power bat, it's a pick and choose. So maybe, and they wouldn't trade in division, but obviously also then again, it's GM talk with Mike Rizzo. Where's Juan Soto going to go? I think he's going to go either to the Mets or the Blue Jays in the long term.
I can see the Mets being a very realistic option for him. And don't even start with the Benintendi talk. You guys are hands off on my boy, okay?
What? So you're going to let him suffer on the Royals?
I like to see, Kansas City's got a nice ballpark. I think he fits in well. He looks good in that Kansas City Royals blue. He's already got his World Series championship. He doesn't need to go play for the Yankees.
Yeah, how many years is his prime going to last before he gets out of it?
Okay, you're right. Whatever.
Exactly. So might as well be. I get to Bill's comment about the 5. Okay, if the Red Sox have a chance to get over 500 with the Oakland, Angels, and Seattle. If we sweep Oakland and Seattle series, I will be impressed. That's going to take a lot. I mean,
on the road too, on the West Coast, the Red Sox are notorious for not playing too well, But this road trip comes once a year, and it's a big one. So it's the Oakland, it's the Anaheim. Sometimes San Diego's in there. So
I mean, looking at the wild card right now, obviously Texas is a disaster. Oakland's a disaster. We all knew that was going to happen. You look at the Red Sox aren't as I can't say as bad, but like they're not as bad as they're in the bottom of the American League totally. Because if
Right.
you look at the wild card picture,
They're 3.5 out.
that is correct. You got the Blue Jays, then you got the Rays in those two spots, then you got the Angels hovering behind them. The rest are under 500. The Rangers are actually better than the White Sox, 24 and 25, 23 and 25 White Sox. Then you got the Guardians, 22 and 24. Then the Red Sox are 3.5 out, 24 and 27. So I'm not saying anything is over. Like, I know, Jesus Christ, with these fucking bots. But what was I going to say? And I'm not trying to rag on Yankee fans or anything like that, but they were saying, "Oh, the World Series, we're winning the World Series." Okay, so here is an update before I go to the World Series part. The Yankees, please advise the resumption of today's game will be They're continuing the game at 5:30.
They're gonna play it. Okay.
They're going to play 3 outs at 5:30.
Hey, are they gonna get that second game in? That's all that matters.
No, it's not even that. It's just like you have 3 outs left. You have 3 outs in this game. You could just say, "Look, we're done. Anything goes back." If you want to win, Angels, anything like that, go to the second game if we play.
What if you're on the other side though? And I'm not saying you're wrong, but what if you're on the other side? Do you want those 3 outs to try and win this game?
No, definitely you do. I'm not, I would be the same person. And I think I feel like Joe Madden would be that guy, 6-1 and be like, we want these 3. Because I feel like he's the one that's been pushing. Bill says, listen, we ain't in last place like Baltimore's. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. And you guys have a better standing for right now than Baltimore does in respect to the American League, respecting the division. But even my boss and in one of my news TV, Pete says that, look, a lot of people saying, we won the World Series basically in April, and even the early parts of May. But this team is in the Yankees could be one really rough patch away from having some sort of a collapse, and the Red Sox could sweep in. And they're only what I said their record was 24-27. They're not that far out. They could be on a winning streak above 500. You guys are facing some, and I understand it's the West Coast. You guys are facing some pretty sucky teams on the West Coast, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, but who knows? You let Cincinnati go in there and take one from you. You let Baltimore put up 10 runs, 10-0 on you. So who knows? Who knows what you're going to get out there on the West Coast?
Yeah. Just to outline it though, obviously, once again, y'all have a big road trip coming up. Pretty much the next week-ish. It's on the West Coast. So you guys face the A's. It's Eovaldi and Caprillion, then it's Pivetta and Blackburn, then Hill against Montas, arguably their best starter, who's 2-5 this year. So once again, that also falls on the fact that they just suck as a team.
Rich Hill's arguably our best starter this year. Quietly, look at Rich Hill's numbers. That dude is almost unhittable this year.
1-3, 4.85 ERA, 29 Ks. I'm gonna get a perspective of this. I want to look up his opposing batting average.
The dude, I mean, I'm telling you. And Eovaldi's got those games too where he just lays out duds, but he's one of our best starters too. You're gonna have your bad games.
Yeah. Rich Hill, his opposing batting average this season is 257. So not totally great. But yeah, obviously compared to the rest of the Red Sox staff, that actually may be better.
Yeah.
Baltimore is playing better than Boston overall. Obviously, that's coming from an Orioles fan himself, Tony. And then what was I going to say? The Orioles destroyed Rich Hill.
Yeah, that's where his big ERA came from, that damn Orioles game. I don't know why they caught fire against him.
Was that the 12-run game?
I think it was either a 12-run game or the 10-0 game. Let me look real quick here. Yeah, it was the 10-0 game.
10-0 game.
Yeah, he gave up 4 runs in that one.
But obviously, once again, compared to the rest of the Red Sox staff, it looks better. Just on Twitter that today is the first time since 2006 the Yankees and Mets are both in first place. in their divisions this late in the season.
This late in the season.
I mean, that is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting for Met fans, pretty interesting for Yankee fans.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, I mean, put aside basketball teams and the way they failed. Shouts to Grega. What's going on?
What's up, Greg?
You also have the Rangers that won the first game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, the reigning champions. I think they said before the loss last night that the Tampa Bay Lightning won 18 playoff games in a row.
Dude, and how about a possible three-peat in the playoffs? That is just unheard of in professional sports.
Yeah, I mean, what was it the last couple of three-peats? The Yankees, I remember, was one of them.
Celtics did it.
Celtics did it. I think the A's were pretty close in the 70s.
Okay.
I know the Yankees were pretty close in the 70s as well. I don't know because they didn't win in 79. They didn't win in 76. But I want to say that early patch is where the A's kind of caught fire with Reggie. I'm going to take a look at that, actually.
I got you right here. Three-peat champions, the 2002 Lakers.
Yep, there was a three-peat, 72, 73, and 74 for the Oakland Athletics.
Oh, okay. So the 2002 Lakers three-peated, the Yankees in 2000. Now, of course, the 98 Bulls, we forgot about that. Michael Jordan, and the 93. Yep. The 82 New York Islanders three-peated. 1978 Montreal Canadiens. As you said, the 74 Oakland A's. 64 Toronto Maple Leafs. A lot of hockey three-peats here. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe the Tampa Bay Lightning one is not as uncommon. The 61 Celtics, the Lakers did it in 54. The 1951 New York Yankees, the Maple Leafs again in 49. The Yankees again in 38. And that's it. That's all of the professional three-peats.
Jeff says, yeah, I think the Rangers feel like a team of destiny. Feels like their year, and Igor Shesterkin has been fire. And the net plus the kid line has played great with Artemi Panarin, I think you meant Zibanejad. If you didn't mean Zibanejad, then I don't know what play you're referencing. And then Chris Kreider. Yeah, I remember he scored a couple of goals last night. And not even a Rangers or a hockey fan. Neither. I'm not a Rangers, like I follow them every single day. But like I stay with my New York teams. That's I have an Artemi Panarin shirt, but not even Rangers or a hockey fan, but good to see a New York team representing New York's winning. Yep, Zibanejad. Ever since DJ signed his contract, his batting average has sucked. Yeah, I mean, last year he was hurt, which I'll give him the crutch, but this year he struggled a little. He's struggling. I don't know why. Him and Anthony Rizzo. Like Rizzo has had some situations where he comes up, the bases were loaded today. He strikes out. I just don't get why he's struggling. And, it deals with a couple of different things. Sometimes, is it possible like something's getting in his head? Is what the thing with Rizzo, and we were actually talking about it on NYY News TV, was that his usual approach at the plate is leaning in, back of the box, but in the box. And a lot of the times he stays alive because he fouls balls off. But when those balls are fouled off late, swing and a miss, high pitches. And, I have a feeling he will get it going at some point. But, sometimes, if the offense is bad and you need something just in case, from Anthony Rizzo, I'm just hopefully he just gets it started. Hopefully he just gets it started at some point.
He'll turn it around.
Yeah. No, I've faith in him. Okay, so hold on one second. I'm just trying to see if they okay, so actually you're right. They didn't start the game yet, or at least they didn't finish the game yet because okay, so I'm just trying to see. Yep, they're still in that delay. Surprisingly though, Aaron Hicks was 3 for 4 today, which you don't really see out of Aaron Hicks, and I know I've been hard on him on purpose. On purpose, I've been hard on him, but
that's fair. I think it's fair.
How much better is he going to get at this point in his career? And in one day, he's not going to take me off of the criticism of Aaron Hicks train. It's not. I'm just gonna say that right now. But shout out to him. He did have a good day today. I think Joey Gallo. Let's see what he do. 1 for 3. Well, actually, no, not 0 for 3, but he walked. So that's what Joey Gallo does. I don't know why, but Matt Carpenter, he's been put aside the average, he's been like some weird ass on fire.
Okay.
One of my supporters that has recently subscribed to this channel actually put out a tweet, or at least retweeted it. 17 plate appearances for the Yankees and 3 home runs.
Okay, he's always been one of my favorite players. It's interesting. And the what did he shave his beard? Has a mustache or something?
Shave his beard, and he looks like WB Mason, and
Hey,
all these other guys. You could just
whatever works, man. Hit the ball out of the yard. It don't matter.
yeah. What was I gonna say? So got a couple of spam. Yeah, for some reason we're spammed a lot today. Maybe it was just that popular.
Hey,
What was I gonna say?
say?
Bill says, actually there was a comment earlier. He said, listen, Sox, I'm disappointed in Nate Eovaldi last week. I mean, I'm looking at the game where Eovaldi gave up 5 home runs in the top of the first inning.
Yeah,
Eovaldi made me ugly after the game. I was talking about it last comment. Can't trust Eovaldi. I mean,
yeah,
has he struggled recently?
yeah. I mean, it seems like guys are, and this is it's a fastball hunting league. Like everybody talks about it. Good hitters talk about it. You hunt the fastball and you try to spoil everything else because guys are throwing velocity now. And Nathan Eovaldi's one of those guys that is going to throw 100 past you if you're not ready for it. So guys are hunting his fastball, and when they hit it, it goes a long way. He's 2-2 now. His last outing against the Orioles wasn't terrible. He gave up a couple runs in the 5th inning. Red Sox offense didn't really help him out, but he got the win, 2-2. He's got a 3.7 ERA, like we talked about with Rich Hill. I mean, as opposed to the rest of the Red Sox pitching staff, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Shout out to MH. What's going on, MH? Another Mets fan in the chat, also a Giants fan as well. Before I get to Jeff's comment, I discovered this on Monday when I was doing my research. I just have to find somebody to go with. So it turns out that the New York Giants play the Patriots the first week of the preseason on August the 11th, 7 p.m. Next 3 days, the Yankees are in Boston. I'm thinking of some sort of road trip. I just have to find some people to go with.
Man, that would be a really fun trip to see the Giants and the Yankees in Boston. Whew.
It'd be a lot of money. It'd be worth it though. I'd be, seeing the first time what this coaching staff and everybody looks like.
Yeah.
And then seeing, hopefully the Yankees kick ass at Fenway. I'd probably get beer thrown on me, but hey, listen, you know what?
Represent, man. Represent.
MH says Red Sox suck Toronto next to compete with the Yanks. I've changed my tune on Toronto.
I was gonna say they're another team though that could, if those Yankees collapse, you were talking about the Red Sox could sweep right up in there, but Toronto can too, and I think they've proved that. But go ahead.
Yeah, like I was talking about it last night, because we were discussing while the game was in a delay, and my boss Pete was like, "Listen, I know a lot of people are down on the Blue Jays right now, and I, realistically speaking, I am because I just thought they would be a little bit better." I got to check in on with one of my friends who's a Blue Jays fan, see what he's why the team's not as first place. Maybe they're not competing with us. But with that being said, because that offense is so very destructive at times, because if the Yankees have let's just say this, and we'll talk about bullpen probably in a little bit. If the Yankees pitching, at least the starters, is good, and then Boone makes some sort of a stupid decision or whatever, the pitcher's time is up, they go to the bullpen, and this bullpen still is shaky, Vlad Guerrero, Bo Bichette, all those guys will take us deep, and we may not ever come out of it until the next season. So that's kind of what I'm scared of. Shouts to Braves fan in the chat. What's going on?
What's going on, Braves fan? Congrats on your World Series.
Yes, congrats on your World Series. That was hopefully I'm rooting for your team. Hopefully your team gets back up to you know what? let's do some extra research real quick. I want to look up how a certain guy is doing right now. Matt Olson's hitting 258, 6 home runs, 22 RBIs. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Current team not good. Yeah. I mean, we've seen that. Yeah. Tell us, Braves fan, is Matt Olson a little disappointing this far? Did you expect a little bit more power out of him?
And look, the Braves can go right back up there too. They're only in second place right now. Look, watch the Mets collapse, and the Braves are right back there.
Yeah. This guy actually was one of the first guys that said it. It's funny, we sucked really bad, but when Cora shaved his beard, we have been all right since.
I noticed that right away, and I liked the salt and pepper Cora. You know, adding a little age to him. It's like, wow, this guy's got some wisdom. But then, no, I'm back to the almost former player looking Alex Cora. I'm in the dugout with these boys, almost ready to go into battle. Let's go win some ball games.
So yeah, he puts up that they've been disappointing. I don't think the Mets will collapse this year, not with Buck at the helm. I mean, I don't respectfully, and even in an unbiased opinion, and sometimes I'll just clown on the Mets to clown on them. I don't think they'll collapse this year. I think their bullpen struggles may persist if they don't get a real good arm at the deadline from some sort of a selling team. But they do or they don't. I still think that offense is going to carry them into the playoffs or with a division title because, once again, we'll see what the Braves do. We'll see what the Phillies do. But it's not looking too good for any other team in the NL East. Braves fan says, I thought that Olsen would be better, but he's okay. Disappointed a little bit. Mets might choke in the playoffs. Honestly, and once again, you know what? Let me be a little bit bold here. I'm going to look at the standings right now. Tell you, based on some things, who I think could be the World Series contender. I think it's going to be the Mets from the National League.
Wow. Okay.
Now I could change my tune a little bit, but I said at the beginning of the year, the Padres, they've suffered some adversity, they're 30-20 right now. They're second in their division, so maybe they make a run, but I don't see it. I just have too much belief in the Mets for some reason. I'm actually going to see them in about 12 days. So I'll be seeing them for the first time against the Brewers. So that's a good team. Cheap tickets, good team, good fit there. But I just don't see anyone matching the Mets. Like, yes, the Dodgers, they choke in the playoffs though. And B, how many times do you have to say, oh, they lost this series to the Phillies? Oh, they struggled against the D-backs. Pittsburgh. So that's what worries me. Maybe, in the second half, there's a whole entire second half of the season where let's just say, the Red Sox could rise up again with some of the guys they get back, or perhaps, the Braves come back. There's a lot of different things that could happen, but just based off right now, I think the Mets are a team to beat in the National League. Let's see. Robinson, I think Robinson Cano, I don't know if you heard, Sox, but you live in the San Diego area, so you probably did hear. Designated for assignment, and he's a free agent again.
Yep. Well, all good things must come to an end at some time.
I truly feel that his career is going to end with a one-day contract for the Yankees.
I mean, hey, I like him. He's always been one of my favorite players, even with the Yankees. He's a hell of a ball player.
And let's see. Brave fan also says Dallas Keuchel. Yeah, he wasn't doing too. I know he didn't pitch well against the Yankees in that whole Donaldson spiel game.
Dallas Keuchel was really good there for a while, a couple of years.
Yeah, I remember I saw him on opening day pitch against Tanaka. He was good. I mean, I think he only gave up 2 runs that day. It was a 2-run double by Starlin Castro, believe it or not. Yeah, Dallas Keuchel 2-5, 7.88 ERA, 8 games started, 20 strikeouts and 32 innings pitched. So
here's a article here. It says noted Yankee killer Dallas Keuchel. Could he be a potential Yankee if Keuchel is willing to accept the bullpen role? Should the Yankees pick him up with all recent injuries?
No. Absolutely not.
Before I even had it out of my mouth, Big Blue in the Bronx, like, no.
Fuck no.
That's awesome.
You know, and I'll mention something else in a second. I want to get to. I know I missed a couple of comments. Jeff says that Keuchel is done. I think that, yeah, I think we're getting closer to that stage. You know, of this.
I
career.
agree.
I hope that steroid boy doesn't get signed anywhere.
Who is Steroid Boy?
No.
Of course.
He did PEDs, so that would make a lot of sense. But yeah, I think he's going to retire as a Yankee. I think that's eventually going to happen. I heard Alex Cora wants to go after Dallas Keuchel as a starter with Sale and Paxton. That'd be a lot of lefties, but that'd be a lot of question marks too if you think about it. Paxton coming back from injury, Sale coming back from injury, Dallas Keuchel, you know, not being the same.
No, he would just. That's not a good fit.
He hasn't been the same since his Astro days. Absolutely not. No. That's definitely a good point to make. Someone just mentioned Luke Voigt. Luke Voigt's been good for the Padres. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Hosmer's doing over there because I know a lot of people in that fan base hate Hosmer. Voigt's hitting 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, 217 batting average. So I guess that's what you're going to expect out of Luke Voigt. I mean, he's probably the DH main time over there. Let me look at Eric Hosmer, see how he's doing, because I know, once again, he's the hated pariah in the Padres fan base. He is hitting 305, 4 home runs, 24 RBIs. But the one thing that a lot of people expect out of him is the power. And, you know, last year he only hit 12 home runs in a total 151 games. And he just hasn't been the same since his, I would say, second year in San Diego when he hit 265, 22 home runs. You know, powers, he's not a contact guy. He's a power guy. At least that's what we know. Yeah, a lot of football retirements today. Frank Gore, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Alex Mack.
Really? Ryan Fitzpatrick? Okay, I didn't see that.
He finally decided to close it up. Voigt will get hurt. He always does. Oh, my. This was so... you probably heard this. This was so fucking stupid.
Oh, my God. Yes. I don't even know. Like, fantasy sports? Lay it out for me. What happened?
Apparently, Jock Peterson, and it was actually Pham that punched Peterson. It wasn't the other way around. Pham was not happy, and there's money involved, so that's why the punch happened. If there's no money involved, you're not going to get mad. And even I put money in leagues like this, and I'm not, you know, totally sitting here and, you know, punching people in the face. But apparently Jock Peterson did not set up the injured reserve designation correctly.
Oh.
So he can only put maybe one person on the IL, and there's a lot of money with that. Apparently Tommy Pham has also come out and said that Mike Trout's a horrible commissioner.
Whoa.
So I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, they must have a bunch of money on this. I mean, of course they do. They make a shit ton of money. So if you got two guys that are hurt and you're like, let me put them both on the injured list real quick, and you can only have one spot, you got to drop somebody. That pissed me off too.
Love the way the comments are flowing. You guys keeping us afloat today.
Keep it up, boys and girls. Let's go.
Yes, they must have drafted a Dallas Cowboy. That's funny. Good luck to the Celtics Sox.
Thank you so much. My anxiety is rising as the minutes go by.
Yes, as we get close to the game. And Josh, so we got this. Josh Donaldson is a bum, so I need to rant on Donald. I'm with Donaldson, man. I'm with Donaldson.
Yeah, you know? I'll take Team Donaldson on this one. I saw somebody say earlier, by the way, before I forget, that we might want to bring in a right-handed pitcher for the Red Sox at the trade deadline. I like Luis Castillo, and I know that might be a bit of a reach, but they had like a pretty much a trade-away fire last year. The Reds did, if you remember, and he wasn't part of it. So maybe they're looking to move on from him. I like that as an idea. I forgot who said that, but I just want to throw that out.
That wouldn't be a bad trade. That'd be very good, but there's a lot of things that go into it. I don't know what stage they're at right now. Like I know Hunter. You guys shit on Hunter Green yesterday,
Yeah.
but if he's with a better team, or if he gets just better in the big leagues, he could be a better pitcher overall. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah. He looked good. I mean, I know we beat him up a little bit, but he looked good yesterday. He's a young arm.
Yeah, but also the thing is, do you guys have the farm system to trade for Castillo? Because they're not taking
They're
bums
not
and
taking.
scraps.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. I don't think so, honestly. So that might be out of the talk a little bit, but who knows? Maybe they do want a couple players. I mean,
Yeah, Frankie Montas. I know
right?
his record's really bad right now. It's 2-5 with like a 3 ERA or something like that. But on the Red Sox, if you guys are transforming at the trade deadline, you guys are definitely in a better situation than the Athletics are.
Right.
And
Another Reds pitcher is Mailey.
Tyler Mahle.
Tyler Mailey. I'm keeping my eyes on him too. Those Reds, those bad teams with decent arms. It's good to look at those guys.
Yeah. So Tyler Mahle this year, 2-5, 5.53 ERA, and I think a lot of this. Now, once again, I'm a casual. In terms of like some of the rest of the league, in terms of paying attention. But what was I going to say? Mailey's stats, Castillo's stats, and Hunter Green's stats may be inflated by the fact that the Reds are just a terrible ball club.
It must be. And Mailey's got some of the worst numbers he's put up in his career so far. But if we're gonna try and make a run, we need guys that are gonna be young and healthy. So we'll see.
Interesting comment from Bill. Why the fuck didn't we go after John Lester before he retired? By the way, Bill, you don't need to censor the F word. Listen, I curse on my platform. I'm sure
Let it fly.
when he gets angry, he curses on his platform. So, there's no PG here. But this is an interesting comment. Why didn't you guys go after John Lester before he retired?
That's an interesting question there. Like I was wondering, hey, why don't we go at least sign this guy so he can retire as a member of the team? But I guess maybe he wasn't interested.
Yeah, his final team. So yeah, he announced his retirement back in January. He finished up with the Cardinals, believe it or not. 7-6.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was traded. Yeah, so he was actually with Washington to start the year. Then they traded him to the Cardinals, and he had some better stats of 4-1, 4.36 ERA, and 12 starts. I want to say they either just missed the playoffs or they got in and they got eliminated. But we all remember he was with Chicago for a number of years, and obviously he played a big part in 2013's World Series chip. He also played a part in 2007 for the Red Sox. So I could see why a lot of Red Sox fans would want him back. One other player that I was discussing with somebody. Let me check in the game because, maybe. Okay, so 3-2 and 2 out. Wandy Peralta to Shohei Ohtani, who's 1 for 4, had one single, but that's pretty much it. But when Clark Schmidt started giving up runs in the 8th inning, I want to say, I put on Twitter, the bullpen is a big concern. We need to get an arm at the deadline, which is pretty obvious. You can say that for your Sox. Jeff can say that pretty much for his Mets. And someone brought to my attention a little, I don't know the page it's called. Well, it's not really a page, but it's a website where you mock the trades and try to match up the value.
Right.
So they had like Florial, Everson Pereira, who's like an outfielder in the minor leagues, and 2 other pitching prospects for Ian Happ and David Robertson. I said, listen, David Robertson is having a fucking hell of a year in Chicago. I'm not necessarily a fan of the old glories coming back. David Robertson came back to the Yankees a few short years ago. I want to see how he did. I think he did okay, just like Tommy Kahnle did, but he's 37, maybe in a fairy tale world, he comes back to the Yankees and he wins a championship one more time. But
right.
Spent some time with Tampa Bay. He didn't really get a team in 2020. Last time out with the Yankees, he was 8-3 with a 3.23 ERA and a 183 batting average against. But it's for some reason that, sometimes, once again, old glories die hard or whatever the case is there. If he pitches better, if he pitches good to the level he has been for Chicago, great. Hopefully. But we just need an arm at the deadline. We really do. I could see the Red Sox maybe going after David Robertson first for a little bit.
Right.
I could see the Mets doing that. So it would not be totally off the table for those teams. Kenley Jansen is so trash. Oh, yeah, you get to deal with Kenley Jansen, Braves fan.
Kenley Choke Jansen. I've been calling him that for a long time.
Joke Jansen. Any of those names really fit. 3-0, 3.74 ERA, 12 saves in 31 games. So the Yankees won. The Yankees win 6-1, and then they'll probably play the game at 7:05.
12-game lead on the Sox now.
Yep. David Robertson back in pinstripes. Interesting. Definitely. Mets bullpen scares the hell out of me. I mean, if we have our own bullpen situation, but if I was a Mets fan, that bullpen would, bullpen's been a problem for years with the Mets. Here's the thing with why I think the Mets have had this issue. You look at today's game and the way the analytics are and stuff like that, you really need a good bullpen. I think that's pretty obvious. That's why the Yankees were, somewhat successful. You need a good offense, and the Mets have that. But at the same time, the Mets beefed up their rotation, which makes their bullpen leak a little bit. Tyler McGill, Max Scherzer. I don't know how David Peterson's doing. I know he was terrible a little bit. I think it was last year or the year before. But the Mets really did the kind of opposite of what this game is going towards, and they beefed up their starters, which, once again, it's great the first 6-7 innings. But once you get to that bullpen in a tight game, maybe your offense doesn't support. It's a different story. Jeff says Peterson was great in his start yesterday. He said, ask about DeGrom. Ask DeGrom about his bullpen. He's close to 20 wins taken from him because of the garbage bullpen. He one of the more unlucky players in baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wonder if he's gonna. I don't think he signed his extension yet. I don't think so. And it's funny also as well because I thought we were going to get destroyed by Syndergaard. We absolutely crushed him. I think it was Tuesday.
Nice.
It was like a 9-1 game. I busted out laughing when I saw that. Did you see the Cardinals? Yep, they threw in Albert Pujols to pitch. At least I think so. Yep. And,
they did.
18-0 lead. So I'm not surprised. But the Cardinals, I think they're second place, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 29 and 21. Probably, honestly, in that wild card spot in the National League. Yeah, they're in the second wild card spot. The Padres are actually the first team in that spot.
I don't know if you saw Molina warming up on the hill, but he was warming up and he threw a pitch probably halfway to home plate. It hit the dirt probably halfway there.
Jesus Christ. So, what was I going to say? I think it'll be Warriors in 7, but the Celtics can easily win it. Thoughts?
I think I don't see the Celtics realistically winning more than one game in Golden State. So I think that's a good take, Jeffrey. I just hope we can at least take one because we have to.
Okay. J Happ retired. Yeah, I heard about that.
That's the one thing I remember from him is him getting hit in the face with that comebacker when he was in Toronto.
I remember that. that. And also with him, it's like he got traded to the Yankees. Just to defeat the Red Sox, and he was trying to be that ace, and then he ended up shitting the bed in the playoffs.
Right.
So, let's see. Obviously, went with that comment. Anyone will look bad on the Athletics team. Yeah. No, I mean, that's just pretty much Castillo is good if you get him a solid mid-rotation guy. Yeah, I mean, let's see. And I know obviously your rotation hasn't been consistent in terms of the way it's lined up, but from 1 to 5, who's been your best pitchers?
It's got to be Nathan Eovaldi and the numbers might be a little bit deceiving because of where we're at right now, but it's got to be Nathan Eovaldi. It's got to be Michael Wacha after that. Probably Rich Hill. I'll take Rich Hill after that. Whitlock probably, even though he hasn't been a starter all season. And as I block these bots, I don't even know how. It might be a StreamYard thing, because I've seen a lot of people that use StreamYard get those same kind of bots.
Well, StreamYard, if that's the case, do your job and fix it.
Yeah, but anyways, it's got to be Rich Hill and Eovaldi up there with Michael Wacha.
So you would say Eovaldi, Hill, Wacha, Whitlock, and then Pivetta?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's got to be.
Or would you say for the starts that he did have, Houck better than Pivetta or not?
I'll take Pivetta, because even though guys were seeing his off-speed pitches well, and hitting him up pretty good, I like Houck in the bullpen. Like his arm is so overpowering, and I don't think the location is there for him to be a starter.
Unless they had Prescott for big numbers before he decided to take a slide. Going back to the fantasy football thing, is Rich Hill still good this year?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. His numbers don't look that great, but he's one of our most consistent starters this season. He'll go out there and give you 4 or 5, which sucks to say it, but nowadays that seems like a solid start, 5 innings.
I mean, he's like, what, 40 years old now?
I think he's over 40. He might be 42 years old.
1980. We are in 2000. Yeah, he's 42 years old. So he's still one of the oldest guys in baseball. I want to see what Zach Greinke's doing. He's probably one of the older guys. You know what I'm surprised in as well? How good of a year Justin Verlander is having.
Yeah, very interesting, right? Because I thought he was on his way out for sure. I mean, I thought he was done, but I've heard a lot of good things about him this year. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of their games, but
yeah, Justin Verlander 6-2, 2 point, and it's also because I was also having this conversation with once again my boss, and we were talking about how they lost Springer, they lost Correa, but they're still a good team. They're atop of that division, even with the Angels, and the Angels, I guess you can consider a borderline above average team. But guess what? I think the Astros have 2 less wins than the Yankees. So, once again, you go into the playoffs, the Astros might be waiting for you.
Yeah.
Braves fan says Verlander, no, yesterday, maybe. Yeah, 2 potential no-hitters. And he's, what, like 38 years old? He is 39. So, I ripped the Yankees to shreds for offering him close to $25 million coming off that injury.
Right.
But it just seems like, and I don't like Justin Verlander as a person. I think he's a scumbag. But with that being said, he's having a good year, and you have to acknowledge that. I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard Trevor Story got a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to the head like either last week or the week before that.
Yeah, it wasn't 100, but he took one off the dome pretty good. It ended up staying in the game, going to first. I think he scored, so it was always scary when a guy gets hit in the head.
MH, I never gave you the wrench. I could have swore I gave you the wrench. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Christian Vasquez almost took one yesterday, too. I think it was Hunter Green.
Yeah, by the way, I just gave you the wrench. I just realized that this was your other account, MH. Yeah, didn't you say like Christian Vasquez used to be one of the better Red Sox hitters, and then now he's like slowed down?
He's slowed down a little bit, but look, I mean, from a catcher especially, and you don't get a lot of great hitting catchers nowadays. He's always had a really, really pretty swing. A couple of years ago, he was our best hitter. It was unbelievable. The clutchness, he can hit the ball the other way. And like I said, from the catcher position, you throw Plawecki in there, you see night and day difference at the plate from Plawecki and Christian Vasquez.
What, in terms of hitting and defense?
I mean, yeah, you can tell right away when Plawecki's in the ball game behind the plate. It's just not the same. And then at the plate, Plawecki's not going to slap the ball the other way. He's going to try to pull the ball every time. Vasquez is one of my favorite players.
Yeah. I also have a question as pertaining to Braves fan and MH. How have the Mets and Braves played? Like, who's won what series? Because obviously that's always close every year, depending on like which team is better and whatnot. It's my different account. Yeah, keep this same energy, MH. When the Yankees clap the Mets in late July, Mets finna clamp them Yanks late July. Let's brawl. I have to go to a Subway Series game this year. It just has to be done.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll either go in the Bronx because I think I want to say last year was actually more expensive from what I looked at Citi Field, but God knows they need the money. So yeah, we obviously do late July. Let's take a look at that for 2 seconds. So tickets start the first game from $103. I'm not paying that. Then at the stadium against the Mets, why is it more expensive at Citi Field? I will never know. But tickets low is 32. So yeah, I'll go probably one of those games and be in the bleacher creatures. Fun fact: Cano, when he was hitting with San Diego, 091.
Wow.
So
that's not good.
That's a telling tale. If let me know, MH. Obviously, I know you got my Twitter. If you're still on Twitter, but you know what? If you come up, it would be cool to meet up. Like, if you do come up during like when the Yankees are actually at Citi Field, I'll try. I will pay for those higher seats, not the ones that are like $300. If once again you are going for the Citi Field thing, and you're a Mets fan, so you probably will go to the Citi Field thing. I didn't realize how far Bogaerts could jump in the air to catch the ball for any line drive. Yeah, he's pretty athletic.
People want to talk about, I told you, his range to his left isn't good anymore. Bullshit, man. Watch him play. I feel like these people don't even watch him play. It's like the same people that voted Evan Ingram into the Pro Bowl. Did they watch one fucking New York Giants football game?
Probably
like, seriously. He cost us at least 2 complete ball games by himself. We would have went to the playoffs if it wasn't for Evan Ingram dropping that ball on 3rd and 7. Oh, my God. Never mind. I don't even want to get into the New York Giants right now.
I mean, what was I going to say? I feel like that was a troll job by most of the NFL fan base. I feel like a lot of the NFL fan bases were just in cahoots. Listen, we're going to troll the Giants, even though they believe in this doofus head coach. We're going to troll the Giants and put Evan Ingram in the Pro Bowl.
It was a joke. Absolute joke.
I didn't even vote Evan Ingram. Like, I hate the Pro Bowl. I hate how they style it, but I didn't even vote. I didn't
either.
Pro Bowl. Also, they're trying to change it now. Apparently, they're still trying to do like the showcasing the players in the game or something like that. The skills competition, I find more entertaining though.
Dude, they should have the linemen do a bench press. They should have the linemen do an eating contest. They should bring the quarterback challenge back. They should have kickers doing the kicking challenge. They should have wide receivers doing a bunch of stuff. It could be so much fun. Instead, you have those guys go out there. They don't even want to be there. They play 2-hand touch. It's a joke. I didn't even watch it. It's a pain to watch. It's terrible. I hate the Pro Bowl.
And you're already coming up with better ideas than the NFL itself.
It was that easy.
Not that hard to think about. Can you read the comment about Nasty Nan? I'm proud of him, but he also fucking pisses me off. I think, yeah. I'm proud of Eovaldi, though he is the second Red Sox pitcher that threw a complete game within 2 weeks, because Nick Pivetta was the other one that threw the complete game.
Yeah, we had 2 complete games within like 6 or 7 days, I think. And then it was rare because you don't see it. I mean, a complete game is almost as rare as a no-hitter. If you think about it, if you look up how many complete games there's been, there were more no-hitters last year than there's been complete games this year. And it's awesome that we've had 2 of them this year. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I remember last year, everybody, and obviously the Yankees threw one. Everybody's like, oh, the no-hitter is just too much, right? And then obviously now it's the bats this year.
Right.
But Braves fan says Mets have Lindor. They're good. I definitely agree with that. Braves fan says, MH, you miss Baez right now. Probably not, honestly. I mean, I don't know how Baez is doing in Detroit, but they have, the Mets have a pretty sick lineup. I mean, I would kill for some of the power they have. Javi Baez right. Oh, Jesus Christ. 197 in Detroit.
There you go.
Not very good. Baez not much. He was good last year, but that thumbs down stuff was distraction. Yeah, I mean, listen, Lindor obviously was a part of that. So yeah, you have to deal with that down the line. But Pilar, I think he's with the Dodgers now. I want to say, that was a 1-year thing. And it's weird that he did that, and I ranted on that at the time because I'm like, dude, you got hit in the head. Everybody prayed for you on social media, and this is how you treat your own fan base. Like, y'all are not playing good enough.
No.
But yeah, obviously, Javi was one thing, and then Pilar obviously went to LA, and Lindor's still doing his thing. Can you guys guess who is ranked at the number 1 in hitting? Let's see. There's JD. JD's having a good year.
Machado.
Aaron Judge. Machado's also having a really good year. Aaron Judge is the top spot at the moment. He has the most home runs in the big leagues. I believe 17.
Wow, okay. That's a lot of home runs.
Maybe he gets to 30 before the All-Star break. Maybe. He did that in his rookie year. And I think he's awesome. On track to hit 60 this year. So
what is that? Only 14 away from the record?
Let's see.
What's the record? 74?
Record. I believe the official record without the Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds stuff is 61.
Okay.
So, if we could get over that, I know Stanton was. It'd be weird though. Stanton 59, Judge 60. And then 61, Roger Maris, of course.
Wow, okay.
He amazes me at times. Yeah, listen, Judge is one of my favorite players on the Yankees. He deserves to get paid. He deserves to get. I've said that from day one. Judge took a bit of a risk on in terms of betting on himself this year, saying, "Look, they're not going to pay me. They want to, negotiate in a harsh way. Okay. Then I'm going to go out there and play my best. And if I don't, listen, they have rights to release me and I can go where I want. But now, if they don't sign him soon, and I've been saying this for a while, if they don't sign him soon, he's off to San Francisco. That's his home.
Yeah.
And, the Blue Jays may sweep in. There's a lot of teams that could sweep in. The Mets could sweep in, and that would piss the fuck off. Piss me the fuck off is a better way of putting it. The Red Sox traded Betts for Verdugo. Braves fan is laughing. Thoughts on that?
I mean, Betts makes like 9 times what Verdugo makes, so we'll take it. I mean, it's not even a question for me.
Let's see. What year did you trade Betts?
So that must have been 19? 19.
See how Betts is hitting 306 this year, so he's having a good year.
He also makes almost $28 million.
I feel like he's a player, and I hated him when he was on the Sox, but now I just don't mind him.
Dude, I love him. He's up there, top 5, 10 Red Sox players of all time. The dude was unreal when he was with us. He was young. He was hitting the ball. He was playing great in the outfield. But the contract is. I like Verdugo for $3.5 million over 28.
Can't argue with that. I'm gonna look up his stuff right now. I figured out who the Red Sox need to shit can and let go. It's Sawamura. He is shit. Your thoughts on Sawamura?
Dude, I wanted to like him a lot. I made a video. One of my biggest videos actually is me breaking down Sawamura when the Red Sox brought him in. He's just old now. He's 37 years old. He didn't make his MLB debut till he was 35 or 36. So, you're right. We should probably shit can Sawamura. He only throws one good pitch. It's a splitter. And when it's on, but it hasn't been for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, this is not, it's not like you're getting a younger guy like Tanaka. And some of these guys kind of come over from Japan and all these other places, like they're older.
Yeah.
Tanaka was 28, I believe, when he came over, if I'm not mistaken. This isn't Daisuke Matsuzaka, and I know you probably remember him well because he was a longtime Sox.
Yeah.
Bill
And
says James
Junichi, I don't know if you remember Junichi Tezawa came over.
yeah.
Yeah, he was a big part of that team as
And
well.
the closer that used to terrorize us, but then Mark Teixeira hit a homer off him, Koji Uehara.
But yep, Koji. That's my guy, Koji. So yeah, Red Sox are very familiar with the Sawamura style, Japanese pitchers.
Braves fan, he is with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Of course, I remember the Matsuis, Jeff. Godzilla, Hideki Matsui. The Yankees got the good one. The Mets got the bad one. Yeah, Kazu Matsui. The only reason I know his name is because of MVP Baseball 2005. I remember he was with the Mets. He was with the Astros for a little bit. There's also the Suzukis, right?
Yeah.
You have Seiya Suzuki, who's on the IL right now for the Cubs. Ichiro is my friend has knocked it into my head to make him to make me think that he's one of the more underappreciated baseball players. He could still fucking play right now. I'm still of that belief.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my favorite baseball players of all time. The dude is just different. I freaking love that guy.
Sasaki for the Mariners. Yeah, he gave up a home run to Alfonso Soriano in one of the playoff games. I want to say it's 2000 or 2001, maybe 99.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Soriano. I remember when he came back a second time, he just wasn't as good, and they DFA'd him in 2014, and all this stuff went down the toilet. Yeah, he was a dominant closer. Ching-Ming Wang. Yep. Before he got the injury, I think he was running the bases later in his Yankee career, and then obviously that fucked him up.
Yeah.
It's weird enough that he didn't come back to Yankee Stadium until 2016.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. That man that Steinbrenner called a fat toe, the late Hideki Arabu. Yep. I mean, once again, I wasn't born during that time, but I do. What was I going to say? I do remember Hideki Arabu. I remember that whole brawl that happened because I want to say it was either Ricky Leday or David Justice. I think it was Ricky Leday. He hit a home run. Actually, no, he didn't hit a home run. He hit a ball to the track, and then the next batter was hit. And then Joe Torre got ejected for not, I should say Joe Torre got ejected for arguing with the home plate umpire that he should have, the pitcher should have been ejected. But then Arabu threw at the Blue Jays guy, and I think he was tossed. I think it was 1998. Braves fan says, I'm out. Have a good day, guys. Great podcast. Yeah, listen, we appreciate the insight. Braves fan, definitely tune in. Love the comment section. Love the waves flowing right now. Tsuyoshi Shinjo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't remember him. Hideo Nomo was also really good in his time. I remember that name. Yup. Haruki Kuroda was also another one. Played for the Dodgers and played for the Yankees, of course. And, a lot of people, I guess, tend to underappreciate him as well. Let me look up. There was a player I just drew a blank. Shinjo was back with the Mets in the 90s. Okay, so that's probably why I don't remember him. Sox, did you see the other day when Fenway Park honored Big Papi?
Yeah, I had not really a friend, acquaintance of mine that was at that game and said it was really, really cool. Papi, definitely my favorite baseball player of all time. I freaking love that guy.
I pissed me off because I wanted him and Alex Cora to go after Freddie Freeman during free agency.
I wasn't really on that boat, You
weren't on the Freeman train?
I wasn't really on the Red Sox bringing him in train. It'd be nice looking back. Hindsight's always 20/20 to have a first baseman because, we're rotating Dahlbeck and Franchi and other players over there. So it's tough right now, but it was surprising to see Freddie Freeman have such a good year following the World Series. I think he's swinging the bat pretty well right now.
I'll take a look at his stats right now. He's hitting 295.
Yeah.
Let me get his full numbers up. He's hitting 295, 4 home runs only at 30 RBIs. Man, some of these guys that have been big targets, I would expect them more power.
Yeah, especially with the balls, the new balls.
Yeah, maybe they have different balls on the West Coast or something like that. Maybe they have different baseballs in the South, but Freddie Freeman, 4 home runs. Matt Olsen, only 6, with Judge having 17. And, some of these other guys, like I think Jose Trevino has more home runs than Freddie Freeman. That is a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Let me see if I missed anything as well. Talked about Tanaka when they had the killer bees of Betts, Bogaerts, and Bradley Jr. Yep, that was during that whole Red Sox era. Betts is straight up great. Let's see. Freeman should have stayed with the Braves, and the Braves should have kept him. Yeah,
I agree.
I'm honestly, maybe I'm starting to think that, because Freeman was, at the same time, I don't think the Braves were wanting him to come back. Like I think they thought that he was a little bit done. And obviously, the stuff with him and Ronald Acuna was actually debunked by Acuna himself. But with that being said, it is what it is. Sometimes the player that leaves the team does bad in a different destination. Sometimes that, team does bad when they let a player go. And sometimes it happens, just coincidentally, both sides are bad after the transaction. Sometimes it ends up being best for the best, Bill says Red Sox can go after Nelson Cruz. I believe the Twins are using him as trade bait. He's actually with the Nats. He's also 40 years old. So
no, thank you.
I think y'all got JD Martinez. I think you're good in terms of power bats. Nelson Cruz on the season is hitting. He's as old as Rich Hill. 4 home runs, 27 RBIs, 235. So he's not hitting as many home runs. Yeah, he's starting to age. Don't steal the Astros are the only killer bees back in the 90s. I don't even remember the Astros killer bees in the 90s. So you're going to have to
Biggio, Bagwell.
Biggio, Bagwell, and what's the other one I'm missing?
I couldn't tell you.
Biggio, Bagwell. You could
now,
say
I'll take Betts, Bradley.
Bregman, obviously that was now.
Yeah.
Damn, who the hell?
Oh, Bell, Derek Bell.
Derek Bell, that's his name. Yeah. Berkman, I mean, yeah, he was also a part of the Astros for a little bit of a time. Sox, another question for you. Do you think the Red Sox will be buyers or sellers at the deadline? I think they'll be buyers.
We talked about it a little bit, and I think they'll be buyers as well. The Red Sox are, like we said, only 12 games out now with the Yankees win today. All it takes is a little push. So I think it's going to be a big bullpen arm at the trade deadline.
Yeah. Bell, obviously that. No ballpark or balls are keeping Judge and Alonso from getting at least 30 to 40. I mean, he should.
Judge will hit 30. Judge will hit 40.
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't, I would be surprised. I would be surprised. But he should have had so he has 19 or 17 on the year. He should have one more because of that stupid fucking wall in Baltimore. Lance Berkman was great with the Astros. Lance Berkman had 1 year with the Yankees, I remember. So he was also, I think, with Texas for a little bit. Yeah, there was a couple of different teams Lance Berkman was with. Let's see, Lance Berkman. Berkman was with the Astros. He was with the Cardinals. That's where he won the World Series. And then he finished up with the Rangers in 2013. So, yeah, he was an interesting player in his time. I remember him with the Astros mostly. He's got about 14 or 15 home runs right now. Pete Alonso will hit over 30 as well. Yeah. Pete Alonso. So he right now has a total of 13 home runs, 284 batting average, and then Aaron Judge at the moment, he had a home run today off Ohtani, which made me so happy. 19 home runs, 308 batting average. So, he's got to be an MVP candidate. He's got to be an MVP candidate. Yeah, I think he's the leading guy. You have him, and you have Pete Alonso, who's one as well. Manny Machado, as we mentioned, the National League. You have any MVP candidates? is right now?
What sticks out to me is Machado. I mean, living out here in San Diego, what the guy is doing he's having the best year of his career. Look at his career up to this point; he's having the best year of his career.
This is an interesting one. I don't think I've heard this one before. Yankee fans threw Twinkies at Berkman during a game. He ate one and put another one in his pocket.
That's awesome. That's a classy move.
That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Judge will be raking in the dough. Machado has been unbelievable. Yeah. Big Blue, I agree with you about the wall. Why in the hell, or who thought it would be a good idea? Someone said that their excuse was like free agents, maybe pitchers, maybe pitcher free agents, but like in terms of the hitting, like the mainstays of that team are probably Adley Rutschman, who's hitting 179 right now, but it's his first year, and who knows, they probably called him prematurely.
He just made his debut too.
Yeah, he made his debut only a few weeks ago, so I'm not going to pressure him. Mancini might get traded. Would you take him?
I like him. I like Trey Mancini. It's something that I haven't thought about, but hey, we need a first baseman.
What was I going to say? Well, unfortunately, that's not likely because they're in division.
Yeah.
So any team that needs somebody in the National League, or they need a first baseman in the West or the Central, it's not going to be within the division, though. At least I think they're smart enough about that.
Yeah.
But then again, the Yankees and Red Sox did make a trade a few years ago. Steven Drew.
Yeah.
I'd take Mancini as a DH. Yeah, I mean, now that you guys have sent down Dominic Smith, it even makes more sense. Wanted pitchers to come. That's why we did it. Santander, Hayes, and Odor. I think he's having a really good year in Baltimore, and it really surprises me because Odor sucked as a Yankee. He absolutely sucked. I hated him.
I thought he was going to be good for you guys too. I really did. I was a little bit worried about him coming over, but ended up being a dud, absolute complete dud.
5 home runs on the year, 25 ribbies, 223 batting average. Yeah, Santander, Hayes has been good. Yep. Cedric Mullins has had a down year, I believe.
Yeah, he played really well last year.
Yeah, I think he had close to a 300 batting average, if I'm not mistaken. So he's hit 240 this year, 5 home runs, 17 ribbies. Last year he had 291, so that's where his big season was, and that's probably the biggest average of his career. So Sox, what do you think of Winikowski's debut the other night from AAA against Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean it was he didn't. I don't think he got the win. He got the loss on the day, but he looked good. It was nice to see his family there. They interviewed his mom and all that in the stands, but she's like, hey, I think he's going to struggle early and he'll settle in late. No, he was great early and then gave up fucking 5 runs in the 5th, I think. But it was all right.
I mean, it's his debut, so you can't expect all too much.
Yeah.
Biggest question, Aaron Judge be a New York Yankee after this season? Will it be Robinson Cano situation all over again? I think he'll be a Yankee. What was I going to say? Yeah, I have enough faith in the Yankees to say they're going to re-sign him. I don't think they're letting him go. If they let him go, Yankee fans will be pissed.
They will be very pissed.
He is the face of the franchise.
100%. You think of the Yankees, you think of Aaron Judge.
Yeah. You don't think of, Garrett Cole. You don't think of Nestor Cortez. You don't think of some of these other guys. Cortez has been, I haven't got on with this narrative, and now I'm starting to get on with it after his start today. He is one of the best pitchers in the MLB right now.
Yeah, no, that's agreeable. And you know what? Now you make a good point. Garrett Cole, you should see Garrett Cole when you think about the Yankees, but he's done that to himself.
I got to ask you a question, and my boss brought this up last night. By the way, your former pitcher, Martin Perez, is actually having a really good season in Texas. 4-2, 1.42 ERA.
Yeah, and he was not good for us. So that's great to fucking see him going over there and playing for a bad team.
Doing a good play on a bad team.
Don't look now, but I think they're like 6 games over 500, the Texas Rangers.
Over 500?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, you don't think
so? Rangers 24 and 26.
Okay.
But they're about this close. We'll see what happens though. Yeah, he has a 200 batting average against. He's had a really good season. Let's see. I got some new comments in here. Remember, I said on opening day, Judge will not be in New York next season. I think someone else is going to pay him. If they don't pay him before the free agent period, he's gone. At that point, I would say he's gone. Fucking go out and get Juan Soto. Go out and get this guy. Whatever you want to get, go out and get somebody else that's going to fucking replace this guy. Because right now they don't have options in the minor leagues. There's nobody that good. He might go to the Jays. He might go to somebody else. That's once again if they let it go down the wire. But hopefully he doesn't do that. Surprisingly, I don't have any Judge apparel though. I wouldn't care if we traded Cedric Mullins. The thing is, it's in division, but I wouldn't mind having a guy like him.
I could see the Yankees trying to bring somebody like him in.
Good defensively. If you don't get, and once again, that's if they traded in division, which they won't do. But if you don't get Benintendi, he's there. He's not a power guy, but he's a contact guy. He's a leadoff hitter. And I think he would shine in New York, all personally. Hal is notoriously cheap lately. Sometimes I attribute it to that, but also sometimes I attribute it to the fact that Brian Cashman does not know how to use money. For example, Chapman was getting paid $18 million this year. I was a big, fat fucking complainer of that at the beginning of the season. And now, that we have, he's on the IL, it's a bigger waste.
I mean, that's a lot of money for a guy to make. Like I said, Alex Verdugo's playing really well for us. I don't know why my dog is making so much noise. He's only making $3.5 million,
Yeah. And, you have a guy like Clay Holmes out pitching him. And Chapman had kind of good numbers. Like, I know Sox went to tend to his dog, which, of course, pets are pets. But Chapman had good numbers. He didn't give up a lot of runs. But at the same time, that's not, by the eye test, what you want out of someone you're paying $18 million for. Aaron Judge leaves. That's a rarely little death blow to the Yankees. They should keep Judge and go get Soto. Anyway, I'm 100% agree. I 100% agree with you. No doubt. Do the Yankees really need another superstar? Probably not. But you shore up an outfield spot. You move Judge to center field full time. Stan's a corner outfielder. Maybe in right field you have Soto in left. I mean, who's opposing that? Nobody is. It's just, once again, at the end of the day, it's, are they going to trade for him? Are they going to sign him? All that stuff. But I was bringing up, Sox, that statistically Chapman's numbers aren't bad. However, at the same time, you look at the eye test and the way he's collapsed in games, and guess what? He's not worth $18 million.
I would agree with that.
Bill says, aren't the Yankees still paying for the Jacoby Ellsbury contract? I don't think so. I think they booked that up a couple of years ago.
Jacoby Ellsbury, one of my favorite Red Sox players of all time. Not only does he play great career for us, he goes and steals however much money from the New York Yankees. We've mentioned it before. Just take their money and run.
And then last year he comes. I don't know what y'all had, like some sort of celebration at Fenway or whatever it was for a certain day for somebody. But then he shows up. I'm like, this dude's been in witness protection for like 3 years now.
Yeah, he came out of the crevices.
I don't know who to hate more, him or Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would hate Jacoby more if I were you.
Well, also, Jacoby didn't throw an old man to the ground.
That's fair.
And he doesn't constantly talk shit about the Yankees.
Hey, when you're a dominant Red Sox pitcher, you're allowed to.
This he still does hit on MLB Network.
He does. He does. Yeah, he does.
Someone else brought this up in the chat. Paul Goldschmidt's having a really good year.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention him. Man, I wish the Diamondbacks would have never let him out of the building, but they did, and now he's having an MVP year.
Yeah, And it's weird though that the Cardinals are a little bit of a second place team because they got Goldschmidt, they got Arenado, they got a couple other guys in that roster. I mean, you know what? Maybe a couple more pieces, they become more of a championship-like team. The Red Sox should have kept Ryan Brazier up instead of sending him back to AAA. I have high hopes for him.
I had high hopes for him as well. I think he'll be good to go back down to AAA. He'll be back. The Red Sox always do this. If a guy struggles, he'll be down there for a week. He'll be back as soon as someone else struggles. With Strawman, Barnes on the IL, I expect Ryan Brazier to be back soon.
Yeah. The Yankees, though, they also know what's happening in Queens. Yeah. I mean, if what's his face? The Wilpon, someone called it the Wilpons a couple of years ago, and I laughed at them. If the Wilpons owned the Mets, I think the Yankees would have felt a little bit better about letting Judge go. But now that Steve Cohen's in town, they're not doing that. By the way, also as well, my uncle met Steve Cohen.
Nice.
Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Yeah, I think he had, and also I've one of my other uncles actually works at Citi Field. He's a concession stand guy. So
nice, that's cool.
I have some inner Mets connections. If I could just find it here.
The company I work for out here in San Diego they got some good seats behind home plate at Petco Park, and sometimes for their employees they'll give away like second row seats right behind home plate.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Marcus Walden, yeah, Bill. He had good potential, but
let's see. No, I don't know. I can't. Maybe it's in my Google. It's probably in my Google. Give me 1 second. Eric, I don't have love for the New York Mets. It's funny you should say that, Jeff. A couple of years ago, my one aunt bought me a Mets jersey.
Oh no! You're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I still have? Because I still have a lot of other stuff that was on my older phone. Yeah. No. Yes. Went to the Hall of Fame. All that. This was last year, so I might still have it. No. Got a lot of shit on here. July 2000. No. 2000.
Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of the Mets, I have these. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Keep putting your comments, guys. Just taking a quick trip. God damn, how do I not have that? But yeah, he met Steve Cohen.
Someone gave me these a long time ago, and I'm willing to do like maybe a giveaway or something on the channel or the podcast or something like that. So if we got two really nice New York Mets snapbacks here, never been worn.
Those are really cool.
So let's figure something out, Alex, and we'll give them away.
Maybe around the All-Star break.
Cool.
How about this? One during the All-Star break, one during the trade deadline.
All right, let's do it, and we'll figure out how to do it. But yeah, someone really cool gave me these a long time ago, and obviously I'm not a Mets fan. Not even. I think they thought since I was a Giants fan, might as well just give them these Mets hats. But hey, guys, yeah, so we'll figure it out. We'll put those together for a couple Mets fans.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Obviously, once the timing gets closer, we'll organize it a little bit. But yeah, there's some giveaways, previews for you. Those are some nice Mets hats. No, why do you and your brother cheer for different teams? As for me, we're both Yankee fans. There's that. My immediate family is Jet fans. I'm a Giant fan. So for some reason, because I'm smart, I decided to be a Giants fan and not live with the misery of the New York Jets for how many ever fucking years. Red Sox should have kept Marcus Walden. High hopes for him as well. Let's see. Got two players in MLB now with over 20-game hitting streaks. Who are those players, Tony?
Interesting. I know JD had a 17-game hitting streak. That's cool.
Maybe Judge has one, but then again, I think he went 0 for 3 like a few days ago.
Do you think that DiMaggio's record will ever get broken?
Give me 1 second. I'm just going to shut something off and I'll answer your question.
I'll give my thoughts on that first. And I heard the Red Sox staff talking about it the other day. They don't think so because of how many like days off there are nowadays. Guys getting pinch hit for all this stuff. 56, I believe, is the record for Joe DiMaggio, and that is just unheard of. Like we see a couple guys with 20, like who said it? I think
Tony.
Was it Tony? Okay, yeah, it was Tony that said it.
Yeah.
So but I don't think so. I really don't think 56
no,
will ever.
It's never going to be broken. Never.
Yeah.
With the rest days, with this, with that, and you know what's also hard to achieve now? Perfect game.
Yes, very, very difficult.
I think it was Bum maybe that pitched the last perfect game. I don't remember who it was.
San Fran?
I want to say maybe perfect game. Last MLB perfect game. It was 2012 by Felix Hernandez.
Okay.
So Trey Turner and Paul Goldschmidt. So both National League guys, both West guys, both at 24. Jeff says, I'm thankful not to be a Jets fan. Teams with Ets are rough at times. Yeah, I've avoided all of that. Jeff says most Met fans are Jet fans, though, and most Yankee fans are Giant fans. We have those odd combos, though, most common Yankees, Giants, Rangers. Next, that happens to be me. I know some Steeler Yankee fans. I know some Met Cowboy fans.
Okay.
I've talked about my connections with Red Sox and Giant fans, weirdly enough. Obviously, I mentioned that one bandwagon last week. That's Celtics, Steelers, Yanks. You're a Knicks fan. That's rough enough. Yeah. And even now that I started getting into it a little bit more. How about Nolan Arenado? Let's see how he's doing. Nolan Arenado. Get his stuff. Arenado is hitting 281, 10 home runs, 35 ribbies. Okay. Brendan Rodgers also has a 19-game streak. Who does he play for? I feel like I've heard the name before.
Brendan Rodgers?
He plays for the Rockies. Yeah, they're a weird team. 266, 5 home runs, 23 ribbies. I wonder if they're selling it all this year. But then again, I don't know how many players are good. There are so many broader football fans around the tri-state area. Tons of Eagles, Cowboys, Packers, Steelers, Raiders. Yep. Bill says, I heard Robert Williams and Marcus Smart are going to play tonight, even though they both are injured.
You got to go out there and play. It was tough to see Robert Williams. I don't know, Big Blue, if you watched the series against Miami a lot, but he was limping out there. Like he was on the floor actually limping, but he still makes a difference with his size. So it'll be nice to have him out there.
Now, I know obviously you were in the comment section for the post game, but are you surprised that game came down to the wire as much as it did?
I'm sitting here, my girlfriend's yelling at me because I'm screaming at Marcus Smart, telling him to stop fucking giving the game away. The guy comes down and shoots 3 straight threes. What are you doing? Seriously. I have no idea, but yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler should have attacked Al Horford there with down 2 points. They were talking about
and you know what? Here's the thing I can say. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Jimmy, he missed a shot, everything." How many points did he have? He was the main playmaker on the Heat offense.
That was a good shot. I do think he should have gone at Al Horford. He's probably drawing contact there. Al Horford's back on his heels. You're probably shooting 2 free throws if you go at him. But if that shot drops, my heart is broken. I probably still wouldn't have recovered.
Yeah. You might have had to take a week off at that point.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? That's the problem. The Celtics are so banged up. That series took a ton out of them. Warriors may have it easier against a really banged up Celtics team. Yes, Smart has been great at times. That was a few stupid shots and agreed. Butler should have drove to the bucket and at least drew the foul. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Jimmy played this whole series by himself. No one else on the Heat. They were just lazy. I could definitely attribute to that. Tony says, I grew up in Maryland, but was a huge Warren Moon fan. So as a kid, I stuck with Houston when they got the Texans franchise. So, yeah, I could see that. I I think we could wrap up with a few fun topics to talk about, even though we've been talking pretty much fun all the podcasts. We're not done yet, but we appreciate you guys for tuning along. We'll go about 10 more minutes. Let me ask you this. When you've gone to baseball games, and we were discussing this earlier on the Boys in Big Apple podcast, because for somehow we came into it. Best baseball players or best players of any sport you've seen in person. For example, Mike Trout. I saw him in person in his MVP year. Let's see. Other players. I saw Albert Pujols play.
I've seen him.
I saw Jeter play in 2012. Let's see, 2013. I can't really think of. I saw Jose Bautista and at the time Edwin Encarnacion. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. Basketball, I really can't say. Because obviously the Knicks are shit. Obviously the current Rangers team. So anybody that's like, great on the Rangers team, but it's a pretty young team. So, even though Igor Shesterkin is probably one of the better goaltenders in the NHL, probably the best. Let's see. Football. I saw Eli Manning, but it was a preseason game.
I'm so jealous of that, man. He's my favorite athlete of all time.
I think he gets the edge a little bit. Here's the problem I have. He is such a kindred spirit, and whenever I see him on TV or something like that, I'm like, I always smile because he's got a smile. But then again, like the first athlete that ever got me into sports was on the Yankees, and that was Mark Teixeira.
Okay, so you'll take him as your favorite athlete.
I might still take Eli Manning by a short bench.
I've seen a lot of guys. I saw Shaq, which was really cool. It obviously wasn't in his prime. He was with the Celtics. I've seen Steve Nash. I've seen James Harden. I've seen
Joey Votto.
You've seen Joey Votto. Nice. I've seen Joey Votto. I've seen Bryce Harper. I've seen so many baseball games. I saw David Ortiz. I've seen Dustin Pedroia. I've seen
Carlos Correa for me.
Nice.
Damn. So I'm trying to cycle through 2017.
Saw Justin Herbert last year.
Who?
I saw Justin Herbert. I'll take Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah. Oh yep. Yeah. When they blew out the Giants. Let's see, 2017. Obviously, we'll judge. Obviously, I think he broke the record either that day, or the series before or after. But he was. That was like his rookie year when he was just firing off bombs. Let's see. So
I saw Mookie Betts. I saw
Ronald Acuna. Freddie Freeman. Let's see. So that was 2018. I'm trying to think of any other games I went to in 2018. I don't think I went to any other games.
I've seen Kershaw pitch in Arizona.
Nice,
I saw Bumgarner pitch in Arizona.
Let's see. 2018 went to 2019. Not really anybody on the Royals. No. Cleveland. I saw J Ram, but obviously a good player in a bad ball club. Yeah, I saw Lindor. That's another one. Let's see. So Royals game went over that. Cleveland game went over that. Saw Altuve and Correa as mentioned. 2020, obviously nothing. 2021 against Royals, of course, nobody. Let's see. I think my next game was Cleveland again, nobody. And then the Red Sox this past year, JD would probably have to qualify. Rafael Devers. And then I think that's it.
I saw Shohei pitch last year, which was really cool.
Okay. That's remarkable. Let's see. Trying to circle myself for football again. No one remarkable on the Jets. Well, of course. Let's see. I mean, I saw OBJ when he was practicing, but that's not in game.
That's cool.
Let's see. Yeah, not really anyone too dominant. 2018, 2019, I was against the Bears in the preseason.
I went and saw Anquan Bolden and Edgerrin James and Derek Anderson in 2006.
Nice. And then 2021. If you want to consider Saquon Barkley still one of the better running backs, I saw him. Eagles Darius Slay, even though it's he's decent corner still at his age. No, not Malcolm Jenkins. Let's see, I'm still trying to Fletcher Cox. He's still remarkable. Jason Kelsey, he's still more remarkable as a lineman. And I want to say that's it. For like the players I've seen.
I would have to say my most memorable, like my favorite athletes that I went and watched live was back in the day when Ray Allen and Rondo and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett were all with the Celtics. I got to go see that team in Phoenix, and that kind of kick started my fandom to be the Celtics, as a Celtics fan for life. So I think seeing Ray Allen and Paul Pierce is probably my favorite.
Jeff says he saw OBJ in 2016. Which game? Saw Donovan McNabb at MetLife. Saw Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, and Richard Jefferson a couple of times. Saw Jeff McNeil and Pete Alonso. Roddy White, Julio Jones, and Matt Ryan. That's interesting. Did you see him against the Giants? Maybe because I know they first each other. I think it was like 2014, 2015. I want to know why is John Henry buying the Pittsburgh Penguins to come to Boston? Just blows my mind.
I mean, you got a loser city and they want to win, so you got to sell them to a winning city.
Interesting. I saw Shaq too. I was at the game where he broke the backboard years ago at the Brendan Byrne Arena. Hockey, Patrick Roy. Basketball, Michael Jordan. Yeah, that's remarkable, man.
That's awesome.
Whether he's in his prime or not. Football, Andre Johnson, Griffey Jr. I've never seen anyone better in such an effortless swing. Was it 2012 wild card? Okay, so that I
okay.
The wild card game is the Falcons, the first and only time we hosted a playoff game at MetLife Stadium since it opened. I'm really excited for Udoka to get to the finals as a head coach. His first season, he fucking did better than Brad Stevens.
Well, you talk about Brad Stevens is still up there in the upstairs. So Brad Stevens still has his fingers in there. One thing I'll say about Ime Udoka, and I like him a lot, is a defensive-minded head coach. Marcus Smart in an interview was talking about how he likes Ime Udoka a lot because he'll turn the ball over. He'll go to the sideline, and Udoka will literally say, "What the fuck are you doing?" right in his face. And that's what Marcus Smart likes. He likes a guy that's going to light a fire under him. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Apparently, I got a text from one of my guys at NY News. I'm trying to check out this Yankees lineup. Apparently, it's a joke. Let me take a look, see what it looks like. So the Yankees' second game lineup, LeMahieu, not too bad, but we'll see what happens. Tie-ins pitching, of course. Eli Manning multiple times at MetLife. Jeter is multiple times, as well as Jacob deGrom. LeBron James when he was with the Cavs at the Izod Center. And going back to that Heat conversation, Adebayo and Oladipo were solid at times. Same with Lowry. I've seen Jordan too. Seen Sam Castle, Stephon Marbury, and Dikembe Mutombo. Of course, we all know the infamous commercial. Rajon Rondo, Garnett, Pierce was my favorite big three.
And Rondo wasn't even in that big three. They were calling that the big four because Ray Allen was that big three with Garnett and Pierce. I mean, that's one of the best lineups of all time. Tell me if I'm wrong, the 08 Celtics.
Agreed. With that being said, do you have any final thoughts to add?
No, I think it's cool, man. I've had these sitting here for a long time, and I think it's cool now that we got a baseball podcast. We're going to figure out how to give these Mets hats away. So if you guys know any Mets fans, tell them to come on in on Thursday. Subscribe to both channels. We'll be giving these away. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Red Sox have a day off today. Luckily, I think they've earned it. Red Sox, Celtics play tonight in game 1 of the finals. I'm getting all nervous and worked up about it, so I'm going to have to take a chill here. We appreciate you guys joining us. As always, we really do try to have a lot of fun on here, talk baseball, talk football, talk milkshakes, whatever it is. And we'll be back next week.
Yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to both channels. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops your drops. Obviously, go subscribe to Big Beat Reactions. With that being said, I will be live tonight along with Donald Stewart and Luca for the Warriors Celtics game at 9 o'clock. So be sure to tune in to that one. Sox finally get some games that are West Coast friendly in the next few days.
I'm going to try to go to that Angels series too. I got some schedules to move around, but I'm going to try to go see the Sox in Anaheim. So we'll let you know how it goes.
Yep. But we appreciate you guys. Peace out. See you later. Have a good day. Peace.